correct?
A Taoist?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I sometimes will put up on my Facebook. I'll change my religion just to
screw with
keep people on their. Yeah. Right now, it's pure Jungian shamanism, which Jung was it's a form of psychology, where he believed in the inner child and finding that, and that's what I believe that artists do when they create, is they're able to rediscover those magic moments of childhood where anything was possible and you weren't under this heavy cloak of disbelief anymore, or,
right.
Or just the daily drudgery of life and bills and economy and jobs and drama between friends and family and so forth. You were just a kid, and there was monsters in the attic, and fiends down the hall, but you didn't know if one day you were actually going to find something, a discovery that no one else would know about. A griffin could fly out of the sky and you'd be the only one to see it. These moments of magic, I think you're able to still conjure and summon as an artist, and if you can't, then you need to stop doing that and move on to something else, because then you're just adding to the mundaneness that is saturating the artistic world at the moment.
I completely agree. But I do know you're a vegetarian.
I am a vegetarian.
Okay.
Yes, you've done your research.
Have you tried any of the restaurants around here or anything like that?
No, we just got here this morning.
Right.
And we've been preparing. I rarely do much other than prepare for.
Are you going to be here that long?
We leave tonight.
I was going to tell you, try the Jerusalem Cafe, because they're awesome.
Right, well,
vegetarian.
then
They got great stuff.
get a menu and I'll order something. Yeah, I'm on the road. I eat mostly Morningstar products, which I think Morningstar are good. Are you vegetarian?
My cousin is, and I eat a lot with her, so we will always eat the Morningstar.
I feel like we're Mark Twain, who you just said is from here, said that as a society we will never fully evolve until we stop the savagery that is killing other living creatures for food. We don't have to do that anymore. I think it's ingrained into our minds that these are creatures that don't feel, that they have no emotions, that they don't experience fear. That's fine if you guys, everyone say, oh, I'm gonna eat a steak, I'm gonna have a hamburger if I want a hamburger. That's fine. Well then, why don't you go to a slaughterhouse and see how it's done. Maybe, and the people that might enjoy that type of thing, well, perhaps you've got something wrong with you. But these are innocent creatures who have no idea that their sole purpose in life was to be born, to be killed, and not just killed. They're slaughtered, and they're slaughtered in ways that I don't think is ethical, and that's why I support PETA. People say PETA's hypocritical. They're extremists. Well, so what? They do a lot of good. They put dogs down, but these are dogs that are too sick to live. They said, well, people don't want. PETA took up a stance where they didn't want people to own pets. Well, that's because some owners are bad pet owners.
Right.
They starve their animals. They leave them out in the cold without dog houses. They use them for dog fighting. They beat them. They haven't watched The Dog Whisperer yet. They don't understand. They expect dogs to understand English when we're not even the same species.
Right.
But to see the cruelty that happens to animals, I can't, and to see the filth and how they're housed and lived and how they're fed and how they're terrified before they die. And just so that I can eat it, digest it, and shit it out an hour later, that was worth that poor animal's life? For what? Just so that I can eat a Jack in the Box? I mean, you think about Jack in the Box, they sell that Jumbo Jack for $1.
Right.
Okay? That's the bread, that's the lettuce and the condiments and the whatever little vegetables they put on it, plus the meat, and that's only 99 cents. How healthy was that animal if they can do that?
Yeah, if they can sell it that cheaply. I understand that.
And the way they kill these animals, some of them are as they're brought down the kill chutes, they don't keep them clean. Animals are much more in tune with the universe than we are. We're the dumb ones that walk through a field and don't see the snake and get bit, whereas
Right.
animals can sense it, they know it. They can smell the death. They can hear the cries of the other animals in front of them as they're led down these death chutes that are covered in blood, they're covered in filth, covered in excrement as the animals die and release their bowels. They smell it, they know they're headed for death, and there's nothing that they can do about it. And guess what happens? They're killed, then they're chopped up, and then they're served to us and they don't look like what they look like. They would make it very nice and clean and neat and a nice little shape.
Nugget shape.
And then the same thing happens with Well, even eggs, man. I was a pescatarian. I was eating eggs and fish because I thought, well, fish are cannibals. They eat other fish. And eggs, that's okay. But what happens is when eggs are, when they come on the little conveyor belts, if they actually have embryos in them, and they're alive, and they've actually hatched on the way, they take those baby chickens and they throw them in grinders, alive.
Oh my gosh, I never heard about that.
I can't, a baby little chicken.
That's horrible.
Thrown into a grinder, and they're trying to run too, and they just stuffed into this thing, and they're ground up alive for an omelet, so that people can go to Denny's and have a fucking omelet. I mean, how are we ever supposed to care? I mean, people say, well, oh, my girlfriend broke up with me, and that's so sad. Well, fuck you, man. I don't care about that. I care about this animal. You want me to feel sorry for you that, and I'm directing this to people that tell me I shouldn't be so preachy about vegetarianism. Well, don't email me about your heartbreak. When there's animals that are being tortured and killed. I've seen a video. Yeah, no, it's everywhere. I saw a video of this of a pig farm, and they're taking the sow away to butcher her, and they're pulling the babies off, and the babies are fighting, so they just take a lead pipe and they beat the babies to death. They're breaking their spines and they're laughing about it.
Oh my gosh.
And this just so we can have bacon. I mean, this is ridiculous, especially when there's vegetarian soy products out there that are healthier for you.
Yeah,
you lose weight.
Yeah, exactly.
It's packed full of protein. You don't even have to change much, and it doesn't cause high cholesterol. There's no heart problems. Men don't get it all blocked up in there with the red meat anymore. I mean, it's healthier on that aspect, and you're not doing anything to damage and destroy our planet. Plus, all the corn that's grown to raise these animals. If we stopped using the corn to feed animals that we end up killing, and then they end up in our sewers as excrement, we could take that corn and we could feed the fucking world.
Yeah,
and that is truth. That is fact. You can't even argue.
You don't do almost anything with corn. It's just with bread and everything.
So Evil J, the bass player, his girlfriend, his fiancée is becoming a nutritionist, and she was telling him that the methane that is expelled not only by us because of our diets, but also from the cows that we raise, is more harmful to us than the car exhaust to climate change.
Wow.
And that's just as simple to do with our diets.
Yeah.
So, as Americans, we either have to decide that we're going to be this, we can't just sit around and go, USA, 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 we're the best when we're not.
Right.
We want to be, then we're going to have to act like it. And acting like it sometimes takes sacrifices. And if you want to, you can look at your football games and your basketball games and see what kind of sacrifices they play when the running back is taping up his knee and he gets back in the game. Well, goddamn it, let's tape up our knees, let's get back in the game, and let's make this country as good as it's supposed to be. And stop just balderdashing about it and pretending that it is. When I open up in Los Angeles, I open up my windows and I breathe in smog and I breathe in car exhaust. And that they say, people say, well, there's no such thing as climate change. Well, then fine. Ignore climate change. I want clean air.
Right.
I can't say America's the best place when I've been to Santiago, Chile, and their air is cleaner than ours.
Right.
So let's get it together, people. America.
With my last question,
Yes.
me and Max are very big into local music and music in schools and all that kind of thing. We donate to the charities
Very
that
cool.
help out with that. What advice would you have for a young art musician or singer?
Well, to audiences, I say support your local scene.
Awesome.
I think that's very important. Every band that's a national band, that is a big band that's had, got a record out that you go by, they were once a local band.
Right.
So support the local scene. Anybody that wants to get into the music industry, I would say, learn a little bit about the industry of music. It's not just a party scene. It's
Right.
not just, if you want a career in music, learn the business side of it. At least have a cursory understanding of it so that you can't get taken by anybody. And that's, and also I think it helps you with your interaction with a label or a manager or an agent or anything if you actually kind of know
What's going on.
and you have realistic expectations and all of that. As far as the artistic side of it, you take rehearsals. Every rehearsal should be like a show. It's not there. You're not there to party. This isn't a tailgate. This isn't a barbecue. You're there to perform. You're there to sharpen your skills as a musician or as an artist and as a band. And I would rehearse more than you play shows. If I was a singer, I say you read more than you write. keep your head full of words. If you're a musician, expand your library of songs and understanding, and practice more than you play or more than you perform. And treat art as if it is the air you breathe, and it should be that important.
That's great. Well, you heard it from Otep. Back to you guys.